got to be quiet now. You. Yeah. Good evening. Welcome to the June 2016 members meeting for Airstream. We have a chilly night tonight and it's been cold all round, so there hasn't been heaps happening as far as guys getting out there doing the builds as we usually do. But we're going to go over the general news tonight a little bit later. First of all, we have guest speaker John Zeppel, one of our long-time Airstream members. And John's also been in the IT industry for quite some time, in the support role as well, which is some background to his topic for tonight, which is ransomware. And he's going to give us some demonstrations of a very well-known one called Cryptolocker, or a few variants of that, I believe. And if you haven't heard of it, you probably would be interested to know what it is, especially if you use a Windows computer. So stay tuned for that. I'll also give you an update afterwards on the recent barbecue fundraisers we did, both at Officeworks and Bunnings at Woodville last weekend, which were both quite successful. The usual network report following that. And we have a door prize for those of you who are here tonight, a Cisco Small Business Wireless Access Point. So if you want to make it down to our meetings, you can get involved with that as well. So without any further ado, I think we'll let John get right into it. Over to you.
Okay, yes, Cryptolocker. It's actually been around for quite a long time. I've got a couple of laptops here and I'm going to trash them 3 times, so I'm going to trash them now so I can have a chance to recover them. And I've got various variants of the same thing. So let's get into the first one. So the slide deck, as you see on the screen, is running off of that laptop. So it's just Windows 10. I have deliberately turned off Windows Defender, so it's just a base install of 10. Windows Defender is off, because Windows Defender actually knows about some of these now. The last couple it probably doesn't, because I only got them yesterday. And they have internet access, courtesy of my phone. So these 3 here are on the same network. So the one I'm using over the back, providing I haven't got anything shared on it, will still have data on it after we finish here. Because these are smart these days. They will actually find UNC shares. Doesn't have to be map drive anymore. A UNC share and your data is toast. So, and I've got a real example which only finished on Sunday to talk about later, and I can give you a real cost on what it cost them to get their data back, and it's protect your data. So I'll just drop out of the slide deck. So this one is kill that. So I've got Task Manager going. We can see if I fire up a browser, it should take me to a web page. So there's no doubt we've got internet connectivity. Here's an email. Apparently a courier was unable to deliver a parcel, apparently. So let's open the attachment, and I'm showing file extensions, as I hope you all do. I'll just copy that and drop it out onto the desktop. So let's kill off the email. Okay, so that's app data temp. That's an interesting directory to watch, and here's a whole lot of files. That's kind of good. Where did the script go? Here it is. So if I just do an edit, I'm sure that's pretty easy to understand. Let's open it in Notepad++. So you'll get, how many lines has it got? One. It's got 1 line and there's 16,000 characters. So it's an array, and anyway. Start your stopwatches. So let's run it, because we're all good people and we like to open the courier delivery that couldn't be made. So,
Well, it could be important.
So, oh look, a file. Oh, a few files have appeared. Oh, it's doing a bit of internet access. There's a few more files. That's interesting. Wonder what it's doing. Oh, sorry, it's all over now. All the files. Let me bring back to the front. This is how quick this one is. They were PDFs before. This is one variant. At least you still get the file name. One of the later ones, you don't even have the file names. So you don't know what the file is. So that laptop is toast on any of its data. It hasn't actually installed anything. It's just run as a non-privileged user. So you don't need administrator access. It hasn't installed anything. It's just run. So I'm going to swap to the other laptop. So let's kill a second laptop. So that one is just jaw-droppingly fast at delivering its payload and deleting all of your data. I'll just boot this off of. So just get the recovery started on this one so we can trash it again a bit later on.
Does it go through hidden shares?
Haven't tried that, but you don't. Once in early days, it had to be a map drive, otherwise it couldn't find it. Now it just browses for any available share. So whether it's hidden or not, I haven't tested that.
Okay.
Don't know. Not sure I'd want to risk it. So some variants may very well do. Yeah, this was playing silly bubbles earlier on with the screen. Hang on, why is it doing this?
So of course that doesn't have to be a Windows server necessarily. Your old Samba share could quite easily get
Your NAS drive.
on your NAS drive, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, the telly did this earlier on. Didn't want to play. Yeah. Yeah, we're just trying to get the screen to show.
That hasn't switched inputs, that's or something crazy.
Was handled earlier. Just plug the TV straight into the cable on it.
So I put the
TV straight into the laptop.
then to join it. Where's the baggage?
Pick the laptop up. So now if you put the splitter back into the loop, that's worked.
Yeah, that's the logic. I think that's cool. Can't link to that article, which not shutting.
No, doesn't want to know.
Should have just go straight on TV.
Yeah, let's just take down this one. Now that I've closed the windows, I'll head open. Alright, so this one I'll get option.
Plugged in. Now we get nothing.
Now we get nothing.
Uh-oh.
Windows
Demo gods of
Cryptolocker's in the TV now. We had this problem before, didn't we?
Yeah, the TV doesn't like a lot of inputs.
You just turn it off. And back on again.
Split it back in with the TV off and on. It's that graphics card on the laptop.
You need like that into the chat.
What?
You need like that into the chat.
Yeah.
So fine, send you a link.
Uh-huh.
No.
No, we've still got no signal.
They installed it, then they removed it, then they
group policy assigns JS files to Notepad. Because then you can't run it.
Take the screen.
Done.
Chat amongst yourselves.
They've also deployed that DSSing JavaScript files to all our clients from that dashboard. Big one PowerShell script file, which is deployed now to work for all our SLA clients. They're not SLA. It's association for a JS file to Notepad.
Right, may not.
Oh, just go straight.
Sorry?
policy.
Group policy replaces our group policy.
Yeah.
But all our management.
Okay, with that script.
Yeah, so that's big one way script. Like Microsoft.
So this one's apparently something to do with my phone system. Really? Okay. Let's have a look, see what's in it. Oh, it's a different file format.
So this script.
Yeah, there's three common. So I'll just get app data temp up. And a few documents. Okay. Sitting in here, so let's just edit this one and have a look.
It does look more like a phone book, this one.
Yeah, well, this one's got 679 lines and about 20k, so very easy to understand, I'm sure. You'll have no trouble reading that.
It was before they did that to it.
A little bit of obfuscation there. Well, let's run it and see what it does. So we're going, gee, I don't know what this phone system thing is about, but oh, something's happening. Full screen. So, bit of disk activity. This one lulls you into a false sense of security.
Nah, nothing's happened. You're on.
No, it's all good. Sweet as. Can't be anything possibly going on here. This one does take just a little bit longer, but it's got a really comical twist at the end. It won't fail to get your attention. So, oh, well, there's a bit more going on here.
It's downloading the actual. Okay.
Yeah, so it's going off to the command and control server to get the payload. So, oh, what do most users do?
Click yes.
Annoying
Oh,
box.
yes, it's like,
I'll have that disabled.
What do most vendors do? Make the big X the yes button?
yeah. And how do you know that yes is yes and no is no? If it's a box they've generated, but you sort of go, not real sure what's going on here, but it's like, you know, a bit of CPU activity on a few occasions there. Not a lot of disk yet. So you sort of go, oh yeah.
Quite encrypting sound there in the background.
Yeah, something's going on. But, the thing about a lot of these is I've had a lot of examples and they've only got a short time to live because the window of opportunity for them won't be short because they want to close down all the holes so you can't trace them. So I've got scripts from 2 weeks ago that will not run now because they're going off to talk to a command and control server that's not there anymore. Because they...
Which was probably just another infected host somewhere on the internet.
Yeah. Yes, it could be a compromised host. Oh, I think something's going on here. Seems to be a lot of disk activity. Like I said, this one takes a little bit longer to deliver its joy to you.
Yeah, I like the first one though. That's quick.
That is jaw-droppingly fast. That first one.
Yeah. Where do I sign up?
Yeah. Yeah, that floored me. So these all look like PDFs still. We've had a little bit of a chat to the internet, but that could be just Windows talking to the world anyway.
100% CPU.
So all of a sudden, yeah, good spotting.
Oh, look at files.
Oh no. Now, hopefully you can hear the sound.
Attention. 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 Your documents, photos, databases, and other important files have been encrypted. Your documents, photos, databases, and other important files have been encrypted. Your documents, photos, databases, and other important files have been encrypted. Your documents, photos, databases, and other important files have been encrypted. Your documents, photos, databases, and other important files have been encrypted.
Think you get the idea?
Your documents, photos, databases, and other important files have been encrypted. Your documents, photos, databases,
10
and other
times,
important
similar.
files have been encrypted. Your documents, photos,
10.
databases, and other important files have been encrypted. Your documents, photos, databases, and other important files have been encrypted. Your documents, photos, databases, and other important files have been encrypted.
Right, we finally finished. So you think that might get somebody's attention? So let's follow. This one's called Server. So let's go and have a look here and see what this is all about. And see, you've got a capture code. so let's
You can't have robots unencrypting your computer.
no, hell no. So let's go in here and go, well, surely it's not really, you need the correct numbers in there. Well, let's try it. No, sorry, wrong code. So they've even gone to the trouble of making it.
Surprised it's not HTTPS.
So,
It takes too long to replace the cell sets, that's why.
so let's put in the real code. No, you might have heard that. So this one's 1 Bitcoin. This one's 5 days, so this is a bit shorter. And there you go, you got a countdown. There's no pressure here, is there? It's like, no, and then it gives you instructions on what to do, etc. So yeah, your files are kind of toast now, really.
And do they, if you pay, do they generally give you files back or?
Yeah, I've done it twice, but I'll get onto that later. And yet we've been successful both times. So yeah, it's just changed.
So they're honourable background
Yeah,
checks
that's right,
too.
they're honourable thieves.
Yeah, they're honourable. We've done it a few times as well. Because like for instance,
If one gets around that, if you pay out, they won't give you false, then that isn't.
Yeah. So they've got to go through and actually do it for you. But so it's changed the background, etc., and it's dropped lots of files everywhere. So all right, we've made that laptop toast now. So let's shut it down and I'll start recovery on it. Let's see.
Will it find more files if the computer's left on? Like if you plug that in now into something else and it finds another share somewhere?
Not that I know of. Once it's run, the AppData temp, I watched it closely, and it's actually quite good at cleaning up after itself. So the actual script that it first drops in there, it then deletes it after the fact.
Yeah.
So, and in the script there is an exit at the end. So they will finish and close, but they do a whole lot of cleaning up because they want to remove the forensic traces of where they've actually been.
Yeah.
So if you manage to catch it partway through and you shut down the machine as quick as you can, if it's a desktop, just pull the power out of the wall. The script has stopped at that stage, and there's very few now that put anything in a startup that will relaunch the script. I haven't seen any in the last few weeks when I've been looking. That's a bit old school now. So it delivers its payload. Well, that first one, you ain't got much time. So if you've got a NAS drive with 100,000 files on it, remember the 100,000 file number. It's important later. It'll probably take a bit longer to do its business. Now I'll just start the recovery on sacrificial lamb number 2, so we can kill it again a bit later. We've got to chat for long enough so I can recover.
Doesn't check the email as well. Shared parcels.
like, let's get rid of you, should be able to see them.
Only if the thing with those.
But sure, if they can see them, they probably will.
Okay, so Cryptolocker, well, it's really Crypto XXX these days. It's something or other. The main variant was September 2013, but you can go back to the late 80s for earlier versions of this. So it's been around in some form or other for a very long time. Email is the most common way, but compromised websites are still not out of the question. So it does a whole lot of file types now. These ones here do various. Some will even encrypt your PST file for Outlook, some won't. So depends what's going on there. And yeah, UNC shares, drive mappings, and some variants saying it'll go for hidden shares as well. So it's public key. Most 2048. There's a few 1024s out there. And messages displayed, and the ransom doubles once the initial deadline passes. In early days, the very first one I had, it said up till here it's whatever, up till there it's this much, after that they're gone forever. Whereas what I've seen in recent times is at this stage there's no endpoint. And there's a reason why they don't want to do that, and I'll explain that later. It's all got down to the money. So AGL had on their websites, you know, be wary of emails. This is the real example which I untangled. I'll get there. So 7th of June, reports to be the electricity bill. So this is one I got, which I clearly didn't run, but this is exactly the one that I untangled for somebody. AGL's not my energy retailer, but the people that did get stung, they changed not long ago. So they were expecting a final bill. We all know where that ended up. So let's go and see what's in there. So, you know, this arrived to me, you know, blah, blah, blah. Sort of looks legit, but, you know, that's a bit dodgy. But most people around here might look for that, but I bet the average person doesn't. And then, you know, you hover your mouse over there and it's like, that doesn't quite look like AGL, but the average person is not going to do that. You get the capture code again, and that works. You put the wrong code in, it goes, nah, wrong code. So it's quite well crafted. I compared it with the real AGL site, and there's enough differences, but most people wouldn't notice. Once again, hover the mouse over it, you get a completely different URL up in there, but once again, most people...
These days with CDNs, a lot of times URLs aren't the necessarily...
True, yeah. But I don't know what you find, but I find a lot of people don't even know where that bar is. When I'm talking to them, it's like, can you put the address bar at the top, and once you type in there, for them, it's the Google search window. If they haven't got that, they're lost. So I'm not surprised nobody notices that one up there, apart from the audience like here. So that's, I went through, put the code in, hit the download, and do you want to open the .zip? Sure, they send them out as zip files. So most people just open it, of course. Well, we're going to save it here to see what's in it. And what do you know? It's a JavaScript. So open the notepad. That's the complete document. Anyone want to explain to me what that does? So I can tell you what the end result is. So Notepad++, at least you can get to see. So there's 150 lines in here. It's clearly through an obfuscator. So yeah, nearly impossible to understand. We can spend a long time trying to work it out. Fairly impressive variables. Couldn't possibly make a typing mistake putting that one in, could you? So it's 159 lines of code, that one. And this is the real thing from the other week that actually did it. And oh, what a surprise. That's what you see when it's done its thing. And the real website, clearly it's a dark web. That's where they want to go. You need the Tor browser to get there. And just to add insult to injury, the people that had this problem, the internet connection they were on, shortly after they got it, started to block access via the Tor browser. So they couldn't even get to there to do pay the money to get the, so we had to have a VPN to the US to get it out of this network so we could actually get to the dark web. So that's a bit of entertainment we didn't need to have. And then, so when you go to the website, so this one here was, this is the real thing. So it was 1.16 Bitcoins. And on the 13th of the 6th at 10:45, so it's 6 days prior to that, so it was 10:45 a.m. It actually happened. Then it doubles, and here's what to do about it. You can buy from exchanges, you can buy from marketplaces. I'll explain a bit more a bit later why we went the way we did. So in here, and then there's the Bitcoin address, and once you've made your payment, you hit verify, and if you've made your payment, you'll get a tiny little executable, which I'll show you, and I'll run it. And what's even amusing now is I can't have that on a machine that's got a current antivirus, because it'll delete it. So that's the program that will decrypt your files. So if you've got to help somebody with this, I recommend you nobble their antivirus while you're trying to do it.
But can you download it again or not?
You can download it again, yes, absolutely.
Oh,
You,
yeah. So
you
it's
can
not
go
like
back to it, but you won't be able to run it if their antivirus is up to date.
Yeah, so it's not like a one-time download.
No, we went back to it, I checked it a few times, like we obviously grabbed a few copies of it, so we had more than one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the antivirus kills it. So it was quite amusing as we were preparing this. I had a shared folder with Sean, and I kept putting things in there, and they kept disappearing because the antivirus was going.
Dropbox on my machines were killing it because
Yeah,
it's a virus.
yeah, okay. Oh, what are you doing here? So anyway, so let's go kill another laptop. I'll just get this one started. So we've killed them twice already, one each. So I can do this 3 times tonight if I've got enough time. So let's get this started.
So this one where the decryptor was picked up by the antivirus, did the payload and its associated things get picked up by the AV or not?
No, because when you got it, a lot of these, you're very special in the internet. It's actually generated for you personally.
Mm-hmm.
So the actual code that's in there when it runs is,
Well,
chances
otherwise-
are, it is completely unique to
Or
you.
you could give your decryptor to all your mates anyway.
Oh, the decryptor, but even the program that runs
Yeah,
it. So those files in the app data temp,
yeah.
they'll actually be unique to you, which means by default, no protection out there will be any good.
Right, they just randomise it every time.
Correct? So every time I grab one of these, I fed them up to virustotal.com
Yeah,
just to see what they thought about it.
no
And
signatures.
if I caught it early enough, there was 0, 0, 0 and 0. And within a few hours, there was 2 or 3. And some of these I ran them a little bit earlier on, and even now some of them don't know what they are because they're so unique.
Yeah,
Because if it hasn't seen it before, it doesn't know what to do with it. So antivirus really isn't, endpoint protection is important, absolutely, but it's pretty useless because it's custom.
They're most likely changing a random key inside the original net of
Correct.
yeah. So the whole generated script is just different every time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can kill
That's
another
probably the
laptop.
antivirus is actually picking up more that it's obscured than the actual program.
So is it going to behave itself? Oh, this one's going to behave itself. All right, so let's go to option number 3. So that's the entire message, not even any body. Let's just grab that and put it out on the desktop. And I'll just get app data and so forth open so we can watch what this one does. So app data temp, let's delete everything out of there. Let's get a few documents. And we'll get Task Manager going so we can see if it's doing anything. So let's have a look in the script. It's got 197 lines, 7.6k. Clearly not very big, but down the bottom here, if you're a bit bored one day, try and work out what the URL is. I haven't even bothered trying, but anyway. So let's be good little sheep and just run it and see what happens. oh goodness me, there's a funny named file. I wonder what that could possibly be.
In the early days, we had Cryptolocker just drop a program into startup and not do anything that boot, and then the next boot, it would then go and activate itself. So the customer was even less the wise because they opened it, nothing happened, feel nothing of it. The next day they get in, it then starts the process.
Yeah.
Whereas now these are just going instantly.
Yeah, so the early ones, yeah, as Sean pointed out, it's like, yeah, you run it today, nothing appeared to happen. You shut down the machine at the end of the day, you go home, you come in the morning, you hit the go button, your whole world turns to toast, you go, but I didn't do anything. Yeah.
It'd make more sense than to have delay, wouldn't they? I mean, have it so that it would be ominous to the point of going, I didn't run anything. You know, like you
Yeah.
wouldn't know.
It makes it hard to trace.
That's right. So yeah, social engineering, because you sort of, you've forgotten what you did yesterday. You tried to run something, nothing happened. So
Statistically, people are more likely to pay a ransom in the morning as well because they've got all that work to do. So.
Oh, we,
Rather than
we,
End of the day, I don't care.
so we've had a bit of CPU activity, and it's like, oh, we had a burst of talking to the internet to do something. I'm not sure where else it writes to, but at the temp is a good place to look, because that's where they mostly seem to want to.
You know you're going to get a right access in there.
Oh yeah, because you don't need a privileged user,
That's right.
because that's part of your profile. So that's why they're all JavaScript now, or scripts that can run as a user. So, oh look at that, we're coming off to talk to the internet again. We were a bit busy doing something there.
They previously also
install, probably wouldn't be a
So
problem.
obviously a different user doesn't make any difference, or
So just
dual
to-
booting or anything, nothing.
Well, it's just your user files and what you have access to.
Anything that your account has access to,
Yeah.
local or network, is fair game.
So this is where the least privilege security policies come into play to make sure your users have as little access as they need, so they cannot accidentally encrypt all the accounting files that they're not a part of. And everything else, they've just got access to one big share. They'll encrypt everything. They've only got access to their folder and read access to the common drive. Then they encrypt their
Right.
few little iTunes files.
A bit more disk activity and a bit more CPU. So
And these are also 100 million times faster than the previous versions. They used to run for 6 or 8 hours encrypting files, sitting there doing a lot of work. They've worked out something that whether they just hit up the boot record or petition table or something to do this encryption, but it's just, as you saw the other one, it was seconds.
yes,
5-6 seconds of the whole machine.
that one's scary. How quick it is. Really scary. So
There's also a lot of optimizations that's actually happening in some of the JavaScript engines
As well,
for
yeah.
doing.
Just the crypto.
Yeah.
and how much CPU does the average desktop PC actually have now? Quite a lot, really.
And how many
Yeah.
SSDs we're throwing out there.
Yeah. So you've got
Hundreds of megabytes.
buckets of cores and buckets of I/O to the disk subsystem or the gigabit network or so forth. So I think we're heading for a train wreck here shortly.
Or the.
But you could be still using the machine at this stage. It's not onerous on CPU, so the user probably isn't going to notice something's going on until all of a sudden they're nicely clobbered. So.
And even the few of us that are running network meters on our desktop will go, oh, why am I downloading stuff? Probably write it off as Windows updates, Mac updates,
An office update.
something coming in. Because it doesn't just sit there flatlining at 100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
notice what's happening? Golly gosh. There you go. If I just close the front window, that's just a graphic. So yeah, it even gives you information in Wikipedia so you can go and read about encryption. Just in case you weren't sure what was going on. So let's, for the hell of it, well, this is Onion, so we're going to have a bit of trouble getting to that with that Tor browser. Let's go visit one of them and see what it tells us. I agree. Well, of course I agree. Why wouldn't I?
You're desperate.
So what that's getting in there. So, and if these addresses are not available, then because because they don't last very long.
You mean if all of this addresses?
So, how's that for comical?
Typos.
I've noticed this before with it. I never actually bothered trying to work out what it is, but yeah, there's something else going on. But anyway. Oh, no, this is weird. The audio's out there. Why'd it take that long? Good on you.
It's been crypto. Now that you do this stuff, you get those drivers installed. Yeah.
So, anyway, that's still waiting, not getting anywhere.
It may not exist anymore.
It may not exist. This is a few days ago already. So it's, oh no, that one, that still exists. Here we go. So, 2.5 bitcoins. Bitcoin's worth about $800 at the moment.
US.
No, about 800 Australian, roughly. I think it is. Or is that US? No, I think it's 800 Australian at the moment. But
Purchasing bitcoins, although it's not easy, it's getting simpler
Every
every
day.
day.
Hang on, it's the lucky decryptor. Who's it lucky for?
no, the Locky decryptor.
Oh, right.
You need some of these.
Tell me about it.
So, well, that was good timing for the demo, guys. That one was just about to restart. So, yeah, we're kind of toast here on this one. And, yeah, that one's not going anywhere, so that's no longer accessible. But if we want to get the Tor browser, then, yep, we would then be able to go visit down here. And look at this. You get your personal identification. Do you feel special?
So yeah, have you had a bit of an inspection of the actual encrypted files to see if there's anything interesting in there? When,
Oh,
yeah.
and this one here, what were those file names before?
Probably the MD5 hash, right?
So these are all PDFs. So
Doesn't look like an MD5 actually.
Probably been encrypted.
Because what if it did come across one of your typical customers' PST files, you know, 500 gig or whatever?
It's still quick.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't quite worked out what they're doing on the back end, and possibly it's just doing headers of the file.
Maybe it's not the whole
rather
file, that's right. Might just shave the first.
than, you know,
five
first,
days.
third, and seventh line or something. You know, so just enough that you can't easily go back on, especially not if it's 100,000 file. You know, go through and try and undo. But it's just insane.
Plus you've got the encryption accelerators in the CPU.
Yeah, you've got some are doing hardware encryption.
That's still going to take time though. It's not going to.
Yeah, the decrypting takes longer than the encrypting now. Whereas previously, it still took longer.
And-
We ran for 12 hours encrypting, and then
and we're about to find out if I've done anything to my backup because that was still plugged in. So
doing a test dummy, so it's
Yeah.
not right, but it was plugged in. So
it was plugged in. It was there. All it's got is Windows image backup on it. There's no files apart from that. So. And by default, you need administrative privileges to even open the folder. So chances are it's going to be okay. But crap! It's on the wrong screen, wasn't it?
it's going on TV.
Yes. I was wondering why I couldn't see anything on here. Not going to matter if I break Windows because it's slightly broken at the moment anyway.
I bet they could have a lot of fun with those USB sticks that have the secondary partition with the auto run in it. That opens up.
Yeah, the virtual CD drive.
Yeah, those crappy things.
You can get versions that hack the firmware of the USB.
No doubt.
Let's just try plugging in again.
Oh, I suppose. In the unlikely scenario it's going to work, yeah, let's do that.
Another dream.
Yeah, there's something about the graphics adapter in this laptop that's
Not happy.
clearly not a good candidate for what I'm trying to use it for.
I'm not going to screw that up.
Oh!
Hey, success.
So we want to go and find number 4 now. So, dear customer, we couldn't deliver to your items. The delivery label is attached. Sure, I need that. And it's from, FedEx on, it's blah, 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 guest on behalf of FedEx International Economy. Most people wouldn't read that anyway. They go, "Hmm."
NGIX doesn't even match the other email. We could at least make it look half as legit.
Yeah, that was.
At least it's unlikely they'll misspell FedEx.
On access here, things like changing the file. That was really good.
Just gets the
Sending it to FedEx, it must have paid some money for it, so it's important.
It's probably that Oculus Rift I ordered or something coming from the US.
So the same Telstra stuff come through now as well, in the same format as the AGL.
Yeah.
So,
I've seen quite a lot of phishing stuff for Insto recently as well.
Yeah.
It's amazing how eager people are to open up bills from Telstra and AGL.
Well, it doesn't. It appears it hasn't put my backup to toast. So,
just try hard enough.
well, because if you've ever tried to open the folder that the Windows backups in, by default it says you need administrative access, and you've got to click on that, and it would seem that the script writers haven't worked out how to fudge that yet.
Well, they could just ask you.
Yeah.
You're probably
Well, true.
thinking,
You
yes.
got that. Earlier on, I got that
Yeah.
one popped up. So yeah, well, there's probably no reason why you couldn't do that. But anyway, that would have sort of upset my demo slightly. But anyway, so let's go make sure. So there's nothing really interesting in here. Task manager going. Let's get my.
These are all cryptos we've picked up in the past 4 weeks. Every single variant. This is not a history of Cryptolocker, this is right now. It's not one version that's doing the rounds. There are 10 or 20 different variants that are popping up.
So let's just have a quick edit of it. Oh, good, eh? It's one line again.
It's 48,000 characters long.
So,
15,000.
yeah. So I'll just scroll across just for your viewing enjoyment.
They didn't buy the expensive obfuscator, these people.
Clearly.
White space.
It's just numbers.
Yeah, they're using spaces instead of tabs.
Bad performance.
So,
That's the first thing on their mind.
I think that's
Well,
one optimization to take white space out.
Does it use single quotes or double quotes as well sometimes? More performant.
No, he doesn't put anything on one line though.
Just over the 10.
Brackets on the
oh, look at this. We've got a whole bunch of.
That's quick.
You like the speed of that one? This is a little bit more recent than the other one, but nearly as fast. So yeah.
This one's cheap.
Oh, it's cheap. It's only 0.46 Bitcoin.
That's more like it. No need to be greedy.
Oh, it's only 1K. So it's an easy one. So if you do not pay in 3 days, you will lose all your files.
No one can help us except.
Or you'll loose them.
Yeah, you'll lose them.
Yeah. Either way, it's bad, right?
The end result, not so good. Not so good. So that's what I do. I've got a timeline a bit later in the presentation about what we had to do, and yeah, some of it might surprise you in time terms. So we're kind of all.
3 days looks like a long time. The other ones are saying 5 days until it doubles. The others are saying 6 days until it doubles. You know, you're trying to get in that window.
So in here, we've at least still got the file name. So a lot of them, you'll go to the website and to verify that they look like they're going to do something about to decrypt one file, providing it's not bigger than about 2 megs. So let's say you got landed with this and you had some big presentation where you can go and decrypt the one file you need for the presentation, if you still know what the file name is. But the other one where it changes the file name, you're screwed. You don't know which is your file. So
All the modified dates are updated to right now, so you can't tell.
Oh, that would be annoying.
You have no idea what the file name is.
and when it's decrypted, all the file dates are back to original.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's very
The
nice.
database has unbelievable amounts of data of how quick it is.
Oh, they could just write that into a couple of bytes at the start of your file.
So now we've made that one toast again. So I'll just get the recovery started on this one, and then we'll jump back to the presentation. So anyone feeling nervous about their files?
Nah, I got backups.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Password secure backup.
Isn't it what you
Would the cardboard back up?
just see changes to
Of course, all my backups are on a NAS.
Yeah, they're behind a password error.
Offline password security.
Seagate, ATV
There's
archive.
something that's used for the top institutions, like large institutions, but it's been around for a couple of days or a couple of weeks.
Amazon Glacier.
Retrieval fees are expensive.
It's the cheapest payment, amazing retrieval fee for the crypto.
I wonder.
I don't think that's
So,
like a general-
if you decide to pay,
Get the long-term retrieval where they ship it to you on the drive.
the cost varies quite a lot. Like you saw in Bitcoin there, you know, what was the lowest we saw? 0.446. What was the highest? 2.5. So this is based on the example when it started at 1.16 something or other. So how do you get your Bitcoins? How many of you have a Bitcoin wallet and have Bitcoins in ready to use? How many in the general population have one of those? Not so many.
Do any of us? Anyone with Bitcoin wallet?
I don't believe in cryptocurrency.
You're receiving it all?
If I did, I wouldn't
Yeah,
tell
I'll
you
get
about
it
it.
with Bitcoin. Yeah.
Using
Oh,
cryptocurrency
yeah.
too.
So
He's just on a crypto locking.
So do you go to a Bitcoin exchanger or do you set up your own Bitcoin wallet? What do you do? What's the pluses, what's the minuses? A Bitcoin exchanger might be faster, but how do you do that? You find one, you walk into one of a number of banks and you deposit cash into their account. You don't transfer it from your account, you don't do anything, you walk in with cash and deposit it. Cash is not overly traceable like that. Where did it come from? Hence, that's why they do that. So,
But the bank records that they transfer still there, wouldn't it?
sure, but who did it come from?
Okay.
I walk into the bank and put some cash into your bank account.
Yeah.
If I've got
Just says
your,
cash.
if I've got your BSB and account number, can I do that? Absolutely. I can walk into, if I know that much about you, I
Then
can
how
walk.
do they know that you paid? Tells you.
So there's a reference number that you use as part of which you then tell them. So then they'll see this money appear. The bugbear with that idea is, does the Bitcoin currency ever fluctuate? Oh, hell yes. I've got a graph of this month a little bit later. And there's some, they were sort of, it was a...
Yeah, you're not at the good end of the scale now.
It was a bit of a perfect storm, but we'll see that.
Are they trustworthy, these people?
So Bitcoin exchanges are like a bank. It's
They're
just
a bank.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're trustworthy?
So in this particular example I'm talking about, I decided to go with the Bitcoin wallet idea. I went, not that I have a lot of experience with this, but there's one, CoinJar. So I decided to go with them. The idea being that you can put money into it so that you can put more than you need, so that then you can buy the Bitcoin, allowing for a bit of variation in Bitcoin. And whatever's left over, you've then got the possibility of actually getting it back again. Whereas if you go to the Bitcoin exchanger, you've handed your money over the counter, goodbye. In between you putting it in there, if the Bitcoin exchange rate goes against you, you might not have enough in there to actually buy enough Bitcoin. What do you have to do? Go back, put more cash in. So we decided to go to the Bitcoin wallet. So it takes a bit longer, but you hopefully get the dollars into it may take longer than you hope to get the dollars into the Bitcoin wallet, and I've got real timings on that one, and it's quite amazing. So, and you've got to complete the payment, get the decryption tool, start the decryption. Might take many runs, and it'll take lots of time. So let's just pop around here. Do I?
Exit the presentation so that it goes back to produce screen.
I've actually got, where did I put it? Oh, it's on this. I'll get this recovery started. No, I'll run it on this other one because it wants to restart the bloody thing at the end. So it's quite a pain in the ass, but
Come
anyway.
back to it.
Yeah, I'll come back to it. So I've actually got the real thing that we use to do the decryption, the actual file. It's not very big. So And yeah, the antivirus now deletes this file. So these two here don't have any antivirus on it, so I'll be able to run it on there. Actually, that one does. Yeah, it wouldn't run on that anyway. So the timeline. So 7th of June, at about 10:45 a.m. in a few seconds. If you remember that, 13th of the 6th. Take 6 days off of that. So it was 10:45 and 19 seconds. So that's when they actually opened it. The ransom was 1.16592. It was only the next morning that they became aware of the problem, as it worked out. You know, she was home, he was away, he got back next morning and went to access something on the Plex server which needed to talk to the NAS drive, and there appeared to be a whole lot of stuff not accessible. He's reasonably IT fluid, so tweaked to something pretty bad happening here. So I got him to bring the laptop in because I didn't know what I was dealing with, but I kind of knew the end result was going to be something like this, but didn't know which version, So we then worked out, well, the best idea was to do the coin jar setup. Having never done this before, there's a number of things you've got to do in there to even get money into it. On the face of it, we're reading it, looked like you can attach your own bank account to it and use that. Wrong. Your bank account is to get money out of your Bitcoin wallet. That's what it's there for. It's not to put money in. To put money in, you've got to do it by BPay. To do it by BPay, you have to verify your account. To verify your account, you have to have a photo of the front and the back of your driver's license and a utility bill that's got your name and your address on it, because you're opening a bank account.
We tried sending the AGL.zip, but they didn't accept it.
So, and then a person has to actually validate this and then activate it. So there goes a bit more time. Then on the 10th of June, we initiated the BPay transfer. So actually, I probably.
No.
So yeah, so the 7th, so it's 1.16592. So their environment was one laptop that opened the AGL, the NAS drive, which had 100,118 files collectively encrypted between the two devices. It's a 12 terabyte NAS, so it's a little bit on it. And they were originally thinking that it's a NAS, it's got hardware redundancy, will be sweet. They might think differently now.
So that's 12 terabytes encrypted in a very short period of time. We're doing
So,
a couple of megs of PDFs here.
So that was on the 7th when it all happened. Brought the laptop into my office, worked out what we were dealing with. Crypto, goody. Just to add to the entertainment, the person had very, very recently just retired from a job, and as part of that job, there was a Dropbox account which they used to use, and which had some of their company documents in it. So they could do a bit of work at home on the laptop, and then when they get to work, the documents would be there. The Dropbox account was still on the laptop. We all know what happened to the files back at the office where you used to work. At around about the 7th of June, they all suddenly became encrypted in the Dropbox account. Is this a problem? You decide.
Not if you don't work there anymore.
Yeah. So
You can always revert in your Dropbox account back to a previous version.
possibly.
Yeah, not always.
I wouldn't bet my house on that one. So we they're on very good terms. So we gave them a call to say, look, this is what's happened, and they'd already decided they'd had to pay the ransom. So I said, well, when we get them back, we'll give them back to you. So I removed the Dropbox account off the laptop right there and then. I also didn't make any changes to that laptop because I got burnt 2 years ago, which made my job a lot harder because I actually found some of the bits and removed them. It actually needed those to run to do the decrypting. It works out, in hindsight now, it's a bit smarter and it just runs, but it's a bit dumber in another respect, and I'll get to that. So we investigated the options, the coin jar was the best option, yada, yada, yada. And we thought the bank account was going to do the job. Sweet. No, it didn't. We needed to verify. Submitted all the documents. That was on the Thursday, so they had to round up because we did the bank account bit on the Wednesday. That takes a while to actually appear, so we didn't know it wasn't going to work on Wednesday. Come Thursday, we found out it didn't work, so we then submitted all the relevant documents to them. It was verified at the cut-off for BPay is 5:30 Eastern Standard Time to get your transaction started one day. It was 5:06 p.m. in Adelaide. What does that make it in Melbourne and Sydney? Missed by this much. So that was on the Thursday. So missed the window by 5 minutes, which means that on the Friday we did the transaction. We decided to do 120% of what the initial ransom price was to give us some buffer for variation on Bitcoin, and also there is a currency conversion fee, 1, 2, 4% depending on who your Bitcoin vendor is. So a buffer for that, and we thought we should be okay. Good to go. So did the transfer. Mind you, we had till Monday. Monday was the 13th. Was that a working day? No, that was a public holiday. That was the Queen's birthday. When you do a BPay transfer into your CoinJar account, it takes 3 business days. Are we starting to work out there might be a problem with 6 days before it doubles? 3 of those days were Saturday, Sunday and Monday. It's Monday at 10:45 a.m, the ransom doubled. So it's nearly impossible to pay the ransom by the first deadline unless you have a Bitcoin account or know someone that does and can put the transfer through quicker. If you've got to create your own. In hindsight, even if we'd started as early as we did, we still don't reckon we would have made it because it was a bloody long weekend.
You don't need it. One of those Bitcoin ATMs they have in the eastern states.
ATM, yeah.
You just walk up and feed
So,
money.
anyway, and they kept checking, Saturday, money not in the CoinJar account, Sunday, not in the CoinJar account. Monday, public holiday, good on you. Money still not in this CoinJar account, doubled to 2.33184. Tuesday the 14th, we get to here. So we started on the 7th, we're now 7 days down the track. Finally, the money's in the CoinJar account. However, wouldn't you know it, the Bitcoin exchange rate had varied. We didn't even have enough money in the account, even though we'd put 120% in, to even get the first ransom amount.
Wow.
So we went, great, or it might have only just been enough. It was right on the edge anyway, but we'd put in 1.2 times what we needed. So at that time, and in hindsight, we wisely chose to buy as much Bitcoin as we could, because it went up after that. So saved a bit of money, if you can put it in those terms, by buying it then. Transferred more money to the CoinJar account to buy the second half of the ransom. Wait another 3 business days, 14th to the 17th. Oh bugger, it had gone up again, and we didn't actually have enough money in the account to buy the rest of the Bitcoin on the 17th because it had gone up. So had to transfer yet again even more, wait another 3 business days. So the exchange rate had varied between here around about 18%. I've got a chart in a minute of it. So we had to, that's a Friday. What comes after Friday?
Beer.
Yeah.
Not for these people.
So it was going to be 3 business days to transfer into the CoinJar account. Well, Saturday and Sunday are business days. So transferred on Friday, hence Tuesday we finally had enough money in the account to buy the rest of the Bitcoins. We paid the ransom, went to the dark web, verified the payment. That was very quick. And then we got the decryption program. And we thought, happy days. Well, that's what they were saying. And I said, let's start saying that when we've got your files back. Up until then, let's not get too excited. So, started the run of the program, and actually I can probably demo that now, because it's quite a relevant
What
point.
would your company do then if they tie them up almost? Go on leave.
That's the whole thing.
I'm curious now when I open
Even
the
if you take a ransom, you're not necessarily getting files back at the time of matter. There's still days of downtime. This is why this is so important for people to understand that you've got to make sure you've got second copies and backups and previous versions and offline backups and protection. Because antivirus just will not pick it up until days after.
Because it's custom made for you.
So there's no protection you've got.
Pick random spam, download it. And
Okay,
James.
decryption_software.exe.
I need a copy of that.
Absolutely. You can have any of what I've got here, and as long as you haven't got antivirus, because I'll.
Have you tried running? Oh, obviously, my works as certificates, isn't it?
Well, so no, I'm going to run it right now, so you actually get to see what it does. But yeah, it's 91k. Actually, what is
yeah, it looks the part.
what's marginally interesting?
Self-defense, nice little try catch.
Got a bit of XML in the middle of the file.
I think I've just found another variant for you here, John.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Well,
hang on, look at this. A regex for Pornhub.com.
so let's run it.
This is going to be fun. You
So,
hit all those spams.
so Cryptolocker decryption. Hint: decryption process may take up to 4 hours. Well, that doesn't sound too bad. Window will close after decryption process is completed.
Great success.
Sounds positive.
Make sure you've got
Is
the
this-
power plugged in.
This machine isn't crypto?
No. So this is a clean machine.
Okay.
So it's got nothing on it because we're in that interesting position that we didn't know. You want to be careful that you don't run this on any other machine other than the one that did the encryption, because in the early days I worked out the database that it needed to work out what the hell it did was written on the C drive of the machine that did the work.
Right.
So running the program on another machine, the earlier one, wouldn't by default decrypt everything. It would pop up and say, oh, point me at a file and I'll decrypt it for you.
Right.
So if you didn't have the machine anymore, you would have to go and point at every single file to decrypt them. You didn't have anything else to do with the rest of your life. So,
You're getting paid by the hour, though, right?
so do you want to decrypt this PC? Sounds like a good idea. Decryption is in progress. So I had Task Manager going so I could see whether there was any network activity. We put it on their wired network, so we had gigabit to the NAS. So I was watching for local disk activity and network activity. And there was no C drive activity, but there was a reasonable amount of network activity. Sounds encouraging, but don't really know. So, the encryption is in process. Actually, let's get Task Manager going. If it's in process, I don't know what the hell it's doing. Oh, there you go. Did it give me any status on what it did? Did it tell me I've decrypted 500 files? Well, this wouldn't tell me anyway because there's nothing encrypted on it, but that's precisely what we saw. And then it would, your PC will now be restarted.
Why would you need to restart the decrypt?
Partition table change.
Don't know. There was one little VB script that I took out of, when this first did it, I'm going, oh no, what's happened? It's like, have we just blown $2,000 here and got nothing back for it? So, oh, what the hell, I'll just run it again. And yet again, it had more disk activity. And I went, I think we'll just keep going. And the owner at the other end, who's tech savvy enough, I was working with him at this stage, because we agreed amongst ourselves that for the whole process we're going to work together, because he didn't want to stuff it up, and did I really know what I was doing? Well, a little bit. But so we just kept running it, and we 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 kept running it. And we kept running it. I didn't actually keep a log of how many 100 times we did this, but they were doing it. I was doing
What made
it.
you think you had to keep running it though?
Because it quote finished, but never finished.
There were still some files with
There were
new
still
names.
buckets of files.
Yeah.
Absolutely buckets of files. So on the 21st, we started the decryption process. So I had TeamViewer onto this laptop. They were home. So whenever they walked past, it said it finished, it wanted to restart. They would let it restart. They'd log back in. We'd rerun the decryption. And on the Saturday, one stage when he fired up his Plex, he suddenly went, I've got some music. Ah, this is a bloody good sign. Let's go and have a look. So got on and had a look, and there was, naturally, the folder they wanted most was the photo folder. Which was the last folder to be decrypted? Take your guess. The one they wanted most. So, but the fact that the rest are decrypted, well, let's keep running on it. And then on the Sunday, yeah, so it was basically 5 days. My very first occurrence about 2 years ago, it kept running the decryption process, that's good. It took 3 weeks to decrypt, and that was only on the C drive. So how the hell it encrypted it so quickly and took 3 weeks to decrypt, but it did eventually get there. So, anyway.
I suppose there's not really much motivation for them to streamline the decryption process.
No, yes, I think you've caught on there. So, but anyway, suddenly the NAS had finally been decrypted, and the laptop still had that to go. So it drops a whole lot of how _ restore files.html and .text. There's one of each of those in every single folder, and it doesn't remove those. So I wrote a script to go through, and none of the shares on the NAS are mapped as drive letters. So I had to connect to each one and then recursively go through the structure to look for anything with dot encrypted, and it came back at 0. I went, good-o. So every single file that was on there didn't have dot encrypted. Doesn't mean you could open them and use them, but subsequently proven it had. Then I had to go around and remove all the .html and .text files. And there was quite a few thousand of those. So then we kicked onto the laptop, and once again, we're just rerunning the same program. Run it again and again and again. On the laptop, I had a little script which would give me a number of, at the end, which showed me how many dot encrypted files were left. And it was like, there was 100,000 to start with. The laptop had just over 10,000, so 90% of the damage was done on the NAS, 10% was on the laptop. Then it dropped a few hundred, and then I suddenly got 2,500 in one run. I'm going, oh, I'm liking where this is going. And we sort of got it after running on 8, 10, 12 times. It was down to 1,108. And then I could run it again, and again, and again, and it was 1,108. It was 1,108. It was 1,108. And this was Sunday night. I'm sitting back in the lounge watching telly, and I'm going, oh, well, screw it. I'll just keep running it. It's got nothing to lose here. And then all of a sudden, it was 900. I'm going, oh, okay. Then it sort of inched down to 700. And the last 1,000 took longer than the previous 9,000 took. But eventually it got there, and yeah, then we had 0 files, and then once again had to go and find and remove all the HTML, etc. So end to end, there was 3 people involved. There was more than 20 hours that we can account for, spread across 19 and a half days from when it first happened. The ransom in AU dollars, which I think we've got something on the next slide. So, oh yes, here we go. There is June the 7th. When did we finally get enough cash into the coin jar? Friday the 17th.
It's an interesting correlation as to whether there was a big hit of crypto, which is why there's demand on bitcoins, and it skyrocketed.
So in here,
very much that way.
yeah. So in here, it was like we put in 120% of what we thought we needed. Well, we were, and that was the public holiday. So hence we were screwed from the outset. So then we're in here, and so we transferred what we thought was enough. Well, look what happened in here.
Looks like everyone was doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Gee, what a surprise. So in hindsight, so this was captured today, So it was $871 AU. So we started at about $760, and in the peak it was $1050. So it's like it had gone up 50% in that time.
Interesting that there's also that dip.
Yeah, don't know what that is.
Came back again.
Everyone who bought extras is probably selling.
The person taking all your crypto or Bitcoin cashed in.
Yeah.
Don't know, but yeah. So as you can see, it's like we were caught in a nice little storm there. So in hindsight, would we be better going to a Bitcoin exchanger? I don't think so, because we still would have had a problem around here. And I don't know how long it was going to take before you put the money over the counter before it appears to be available to pay. I don't know. So we decided to go the path of less risk by having our own account, and the owners of the data, like he's very pragmatic, and he'd already decided fairly early in the piece that this was too important, and he'd already accepted the fact he was going to have to pay double. We didn't quite factor in this bit, but we did get his data back. So we're backing things up a bit differently now. So and in the time that I spent, and he's fairly tech savvy, so 19.5 days, just over 2,100 AUD was the actual ransom cost because of this problem. If we were back in this world, that would have been a bit better, but we won't. I didn't charge him all my time, but if all the time was charged, you can roughly double that. So the $2,000 ransom is about $2,000 worth of time in there. So, and there's even services that you can ring, and like it's the 1-900 number, pay by the minute, and they will guide you through this process.
So the Cryptolocker guys have a help desk.
Yep. Because they want to make it easy for you to pay. They want to have it by the good. So it's 19.5 days.
Well, then they can steal your identity as well while you're on the phone.
So 19.5 days of no access to data.
So as you're saying, a month off work if a company had no backups, it's 9.5 days.
So, and we've heard one.
Two-thirds of the month.
And we've heard one disturbing report of when the ransom makers worked out it was a business, it cost them $15,000 in ransom. So
15 Bitcoin, not 2.
So there's also like the emotional stress. It's like, and this is a real concern I've got. Is like, yes, we got the right result, but if there's somebody almost on the edge, and this happens to them, they may consider self-harm. So
You can't guarantee the integrity of everything at the end anyway.
No,
You don't know.
that's right. But the stress that was just in this family, and I actually know the family outside of business anyway, and so that's not good for anyone. So in hindsight, it was highly unlikely we were ever going to meet that initial deadline, even if we didn't have the public holiday in there. There just really wasn't enough time to do it all. So what can you do to protect yourself? Well, education is the best defence in the whole scenario. Having an up-to-date endpoint security, which ultimately is actually behaviour-based, not signature-based, is got to be better, because signature-based is guaranteed to not work, because it's custom-made for you. So your antivirus vendors aren't going to. Keep your operating system up to date, patching, etc. Regular backups. It's good that you got those. Do you ever actually recover anything? Backing up's marvellous. Recovery is even better. So, you change the disk every day. Can you ever get anything back? I've always adhered to the policy of, telling Windows to go away and tell me what the extension is. So then I've given the end user another piece of the puzzle. So when they look at the blah-de-blah.doc.exe or .js, hopefully an alarm bell rings. Now, I have seen a .exe file with a PDF logo on it. So it was called filename.pdf in the email, had the PDF icon, but was executable. Good bit of social engineering. The other thing is, and we've written this, and I can demo. Yes, I can demo that on here without crashing the the system. So
It's almost got to happen though, because if there's an attack, then you're selling it at Bitcoin. Make money.
So,
It's not like the AGL. You cash in.
I don't remember as to work.
so if I try and open that file, I get an epic fail. I'll just open these to show you what's in them.
The way AGL is money.
So I've got all these files here,
You sell.
which has just got, dot something test file. So they're all associated properly. And the three file types are VBS, so all of these will just throw an error because there's nothing in them, they're not really actually a script. So if you associate them all to Notepad, there's a little script that we wrote, which we'd happy to give to you. And we put some TNCs around it because we can and probably should. So do you want to associate JS with Notepad? Yes. Look at that, successful. Do you want to do VB? Yes, successful. Do you want to do? Yes, successful. Brought to you by this crowd. Look at that. Yes. So now if I go back to that, oh good. So the end user gets the attachment, opens it, and sees nothing they can understand, and it's done nothing. So, and to date, I haven't found any normal business application that needs to run those three. So from an end user's perspective, making them apply to Notepad makes no operational difference. And the script itself, we've written it, and happy for you to have all this if you want it.
Operating systems, making those files executable makes how much sense?
So, and if I go no, and go away. There we go, it's back again. So just by going yes or no, you'll toggle it there. So in my opinion, if you can push it out by policy to change the end user workstation, and the crypto stuff, Macs are not immune from it. There's one called Key Ranger, KE Ranger. So it'll nail you too.
Yeah,
so,
I've got it running
but,
now.
so because if you're into making a ransom, you clearly want to go for the biggest target.
Yeah.
So hence you're going to go for Windows. But they're getting a bit more crafty out there. There's another sinister move out there, is that ransomware as a service. So you can go to the dark web, go to a web page, create your own, and then launch it, and you get 70% of the proceeds, and the other people get 30%. So yeah, ransomware as a service. It was only a matter of time before that was going to happen.
Redefining e-commerce.
So there's Key Ranger, look it up, the encrypting ransomware, etc. Any questions? I've got one more demo because I've got my 2 sacrificial lambs back.
Do you think Microsoft will ever make the association not executable for like JavaScript files and stuff?
How many people appealed to Microsoft to just fix that problem?
Right?
Because it doesn't stop it working inside of a browser. The JavaScript still runs inside your browser. It's just out in the OS you don't want
But
it
then
to run.
would it,
Certain
inside
browsers.
the browser though, would it not be sandboxed inside the browser?
Certain browsers.
Certain
Yeah.
browsers,
Yeah. So, but
i.e. not the one that comes with the operating system.
yeah. So we've run the script for a couple of weeks now, and across the team at the office, I haven't found anyone apart from one guy who actually runs VB script. That's what he does. That it made any difference to. So nothing's broken, and the owner of the business, who's had the issue here at home, I've stuck it on a few machines in his office just as proof of concept, and he knows exactly which machines have got it, and he's got the script and he can revert it if some critical line of business application doesn't work, and about 0 has been a problem. So I see no reason whatsoever to leave those associations with Windows Scripting Host, or conversely, just Nobble Windows Scripting Host. That'll do it too.
Yeah.
But this is a bit easier. in that respect. So let's kill them once more times, if you want. Do you want to see another one?
Yeah.
You able to do an example with a rather larger file? See actually how much of a file that actually does encrypt?
So,
Or just verify the file size.
If it.
let's go. So this one was the 28th. That's not very long ago. So, you know, the document you requested is attached. Oh, sure, no worries.
You can see the first 1 megabyte of every single file on the hard disk and
Just look up the inode table. Go to every inode and write one piece of rubbish.
So, where's...
pixels.
Too busy encrypting the files.
So there's that data. Let's clear out that.
Very funny.
So you want to find a big file, so if we get something we've downloaded and just rename it to PDF.
Yeah.
You're going to turn that C install folder, drive
Does it only do like PDFs?
No, there's a massive table of extensions.
Okay,
But
No,
it picks up a
I-
certain set of extensions so that it's faster.
gotcha.
Some of the early variants encrypted some of your OS files and then they didn't boot.
Yeah.
So it kind of screwed you entirely. So they've fixed that by streamlining it to only encrypting your important files.
Documents, databases.
You can grab copies of install
What we were saying earlier. Yeah, the old MDB files, they love that. Would have shut down many businesses, I think, if you encrypted their MDB files.
Yeah, we had a client that got hit pretty hard. Their ransom was like 50 grand. But they had the variant that was systemically tailored to them. You use PowerShell, which was sold off on computers and run stuff. We had to disinfect like 47 computers.
Wow.
It was ridiculous.
They have backups.
Yeah, they had backups, but it was just when we realised, one computer got encrypted, so we took it, and then the stuff was still getting encrypted when we were storing it. We're like, what? So there's that threat as well. So don't give users any open access at all.
Yeah, least privilege as possible.
So that's got 16 lines. That's a big one. So
And they've commented after that.
Yeah.
I wonder what that Z variable does.
Distract you.
Probably set the static encryption key or something.
so yeah, if we scroll across, it's like, yeah.
When is Z not equal
Actually, it would be
to
nice if it was nicely commented. It's like right here, you're screwed.
All right, so we're just waiting for that to finish copying. So if I grab, actually we'll do it before and after on. So if we grab that first file, and if I just open it with, so yeah, that's what a PDF looks like. If you've ever bothered to have a look. So and that's 52K in size. So what's the biggest ones I've got? So it doesn't really matter which one we open there. You know. The format is what we're looking for. So that one will do 1 minute and 15 seconds. So if we rename that
You could
WIM file to a PDF, what do we
copy
get?
paste the swap file and call it a PDF.
It'd be just as slow.
We've only got 66, 600.
How big's that file?
2 gig. There's usually 2.
That'll work.
And if you really want to, you can run Cryptolocker version 1, and then run version 2, and then run version 3, and then run version 4, all the same. Because for the hell of it, I just did it.
You get multiple levels of Cryptolocker.
That's right.
Yeah, you're security file.
Oh, you should be so secure, mate. but just remember what order you run them in, so that when you're paying the ransom, you get the correct decryption tool before you get the next one. Because if you get it out of sequence, you might it might not end well for you. So should we make that a PDF? Yes, no?
Yeah.
It's
173 kg. Oh,
Are you sure you want a 2 gigabyte PDF?
really a generator.
Oh, it's too big to be opened by Notepad. Who would have thought? But that's the other files. Well, shall we see what this script does?
So you can open out that over there.
That's it. That's it.
Good, yeah.
Sure, there's a back.
I like
Next,
it. I can't guess a random generator.
And this one's downloaded. Oh, look at that. Funny file name.
That's a good thing, right?
142 kilowatts. Probably won't take too long on your gigabit internet connection. So, you know, nothing hugely interesting going on just yet. Tiny little burst of network activity.
So does it generate a key when it runs and then sends it off to the internet?
Don't really know, but yeah, it's
public private keys.
it's unique to your machine, so it is picking up some attributes off the machine to generate the key. So
You end up with files encrypted and you have a public key, but you never pay it private. Reverse it. So yeah, sure, if you knew all the hosts I was sending data to, you could lock it there and stop it with that. Anonymized or randomized infected hosts.
Hey, I got your email. Courier was unable to deliver the parcel to you. Delivery label is attached. What do you reckon's in the zip file?
lots of joy and excitement.
Even in that same AGL email, we had, each time you clicked on that first page link, it would take you to a different URL. So they had a massive distributed network behind that. And we had some of them actually say AGL in the A record. It was aglbills.net, whatever it was. They contained AGL to make it look even more legitimate. So
Yeah,
they
that-
don't care about copyright or anything. It's going to disappear real quick. And I attempted to report whatever domains I could to
Oh,
know
yes.
from a similar registrar, and they basically came back and said, sorry, it's from one of our resellers, so we can't do anything about it. Righty. So, yeah.
They pay really well.
Well, it's only there for 14 days, really, and then they've closed that
Oh.
domain name off and they put the next one up.
The real world URL part with the few I was doing when I was getting ready for this, the earlier versions I was going to use for testing no longer work because the domain name didn't exist anymore.
Just like the two we saw, we couldn't get to one of those two links because the other one's already been removed.
Yeah, and that was only yesterday.
And the day that we first saw the AGL email come through, I checked the registration of the domain and it was 6 hours earlier. It had just literally been registered
Yeah.
and they fired out. They had basically the whole lot ready to go. Go register the domain, send emails out, away we go.
So this one's taking a bit longer to do its work.
Was this the really fast one?
Is that because you fed it a big file?
No, we don't have much disk activity. I ran these earlier on today, but it's downloaded. We'll probably need to run this. What do you reckon? So, well,
It's
Guess what's
it's
inside?
not actually stressing the machine at all, so you wouldn't pick it up.
no, that's the thing about it is like because the average desktop machine that's got an i something processor in it these days, and how long's that been around? Chances are you wouldn't notice that things are going in the background because unless you've got every core going at high usage all the time, the average web browser user.
Yeah,
It's
it's
hardly
hardly
gonna-
flatline might be 12% of the CPU is what we call hyper-threading. So you go, Chrome's just using some more CPU.
And if they've worked out how to, like
Use the phone.
in Java, in the Microsoft scripting engine, actually use some acceleration functions,
Yeah, I'm not sure if
they
you
probably wouldn't even show off as much.
you can reverse engineer that JavaScript if you're right. I've sent it to a few people and they've given it an attempt, but you can link variables together, but you can't really tell too much more than that.
Yeah. There was one, was it the third version that was it
activity.
Because I've seen it.
This might be one, if it doesn't do anything, I'll just give this a restart and we'll see what it does. Because this could be one that's just planted itself ready to run.
Yeah.
Just take a start at a start menu.
Because I've seen lots of other examples of this dropping onto my hosting server.
So nothing in there,
And
but
also very similar.
that's
with
all
secure
users.
PHP files. And the PHP files actually,
Yeah, nothing in there either.
they basically get uploaded to the server once, a remote URL runs it, and then that script will actually go back and run itself continuously on your server.
If they download new content as well at runtime, those ones. Yeah, I've fixed a few of them.
Actually, I've got.
Well, like a Magento plugin actually. They look like.
Richard said.
Where have I put it?
Just for George.
Yeah.
Library. And then,
That's not it.
What kind of code are we putting there?
No, I might not have the files here.
yeah. It's not good. I'm talking about it too.
I'll try another one. That might be shut down.
Yeah.
So it's stepping up.
Yeah.
May got the first payload, but you don't know what
Yeah.
it needs to do.
I'll just let it restart, see if it does anything. I'll just grab this other script.
It's 2.4 now. Yeah, probably 2.4 now. So then the stumble here is no reply because I look at the PHP shit. It's not like it's something like it. Get rid of all of that. Except you can just put the PHP file out, pure out. Then I get 2.9 and it's done. It's time though.
Just had a question on the live chat about shadow copies.
Shadow copies. Yes, one of the first things it does is get rid of all your shadow copies. That's a common feature of all the cryptos. So,
Your local machine.
your local machine. So, the shares on your Windows-based server, if you've got shadow copies on that, the shadow copies will still be there.
Right.
Because the local OS can't kill those at this stage.
Possibly with the
Unless your admin password is the same as
Your
Brandon's or
admin
something like that.
Hmm.
Or you log in as.
But yeah, that for the earlier versions of crypto didn't remove the shadow copies, so you can go,
No, it's easy.
well, bugger, silly me, revert to 12 o'clock today, 7 o'clock today, whatever it is, and yeah, happy days. Well, they got wise to that one pretty quickly, so yep. But Windows 10 shadow copies, unless you've got a second drive where you can do file history on, is useless anyway. So Microsoft have fixed the problem anyway by removing what was a really bloody good thing in Windows 7, fucked it up in Windows 8.
They're probably
Yeah,
launching half of these things
Windows 10
anyway.
So, yeah.
Bottom line's looking bad, let's crypto.
That'll make them upgrade.
Yeah, well, what the hell, let's run.
Let's double encrypt it.
Damn, these people are not
Well,
looking around.
actually, the Mac version would actually affect the time machine backups.
Yeah.
Because the files inside
The time machine, yes.
time machine are actually immutable. They're only able to be read by one program.
Be interesting. Feel free to test it.
But what if I could work out how to execute a JavaScript file on a Mac? Like that.
Could you just run it in terminal?
What?
I'll grab the other one.
JavaScript files only run inside the browser.
Install
So there is no-
Install Node.js or something.
Could you use Firefox, just point Firefox to the JS?
Yeah, but Firefox won't have system access to your files. As any browser shouldn't.
Well, how do they download files to you?
Probably using ActiveX hooks or something. God only knows, man. Why? You can't download files without user interaction and stuff. Not arbitrarily.
Oh, there's a,
Can't
bit,
go and read
there's a
my
little
files.
bit more in there, but anyway. We'll see if any of it's running. Clearly not.
So that one's disabled already.
So
This is the last one.
this is the last one. So
This one's much easier to read. It's not just completely random characters.
It's got white space, but the rest of it is just rubbish.
No, I'm still saying, from character codes save the file.
And once again,
Yeah, but it's all nonsense to make you think it's something.
once again,
Yeah, certainly.
10% of that is what does 100% of the work.
so feel free to work out what the URL is at the bottom.
Oh yeah, I was going to do that.
Those dash U's are unique vector.
Yeah, that's an easy one to.
So there's our .win file.
This
Let's
file
get
had one in
the
it.
documents on the screen.
Oh no. That's not the one. I found another one in my inbox. Must be this one. Oh no. That's my new wife. Mail order from yahoo.co.jp apparently.
So,
Hey Bitcoin here.
whether this one's going to run or not. Methinks something's going on here. Yeah, we have a spinning wheel of death. But it's really hard to get demo versions because they don't live very long. So I kept watching the junk mail queue at work
Controlling its fan.
to pull crypto out so I could get stuff that would run. And haven't noticed too much just yet. But yeah, nothing all clearly ran. But anyway, any other questions?
Very good, thank you.
So yeah, if you take nothing out of tonight, please have an off-site backup.
We did have a small gift for you, John, for taking the time to come on down and share with us your wisdom. So thanks very much.
Well, thank you.
You can enjoy that while you're decrypting the next customer's computer.
Creating the next one, did you say?
Yeah, we're trying to read those files perhaps. All right. Well, that was very interesting. And as always, guys, we're doing more of these tech talks, as you would have realised. So if you know someone who would be keen to share some of their knowledge or even just demo something like this, please get in touch with us for a future meeting. Or even yourself, obviously, if you've got something that you're interested in. Now, let's do a quick network report, if you don't mind, Mr. Justin. We'll try and wrap up shortly. Maybe just before you start, I'll just recap the barbecue, if you don't mind. It's only a couple minutes. So yeah, we had a barbecue down at Bunnings and Officeworks.
Job done.
Of course, you'd have to know about those because we've only been talking about them for every meeting and every email you get. Now, it would have been nice to have a few more volunteers out. Unfortunately, Tony pretty much killed himself trying to get both barbecues running, and I believe it was very busy as well at the Bunnings on the Friday. But given that was a working day, obviously not as many people were available. But he did want to particularly thank 4 people who did come down and help out. I can tell you right now, 4 people is not enough for 2 days worth of barbecues, but we must give mention to Andrew Coombs, Jason Debris, Ryan Fusco, and a special thanks to Ray Williams, who is here tonight as well. And I was told that he was actually cooking sausages for over 10 hours. So if that isn't something, I don't know what is. So thanks very much to you guys and or whoever's here anyway. That's a round of applause. Yeah, that's awesome. So money raised, almost $1,000 in total from both days. So it goes to show you that it is a worthwhile endeavour. I'm not sure how excited Tony will be about doing another one after that kind of support, but maybe you guys can get in touch with him. If you were planning to come down and couldn't make it, let him know and see if you can do it next time. But yeah, I think we're going to have to try and recap how we're doing that, or maybe look at alternatives, because putting all that kind of stress and load on just a handful of people is not really what we're trying to achieve from that. So yeah, excellent effort, and we thank you all for doing that. All right, Justin, take it away.
Just need a dry clean.
Take this zero.
Yeah, just clean. Alrighty, not much from an update point of view, so not much has happened, say, over the last few weeks. But I will just talk about a couple of things that have been happening in relation to the network. So some people might have noticed that UniSA had about 27 drops on its sector on Wednesday. No, it was Monday actually. So something's happening, and I don't know what's different about the world compared to what it was a couple of weeks ago. But I've been seeing a lot of radios getting DFS hits. A lot of radios. USA's sector was more of a problematic one. The most problematic with those, so what basically a DFS hit is, it detects a radar on the frequency, or sorry, thinks it detects a radar on that frequency. So it'll either try and jump channel or switch radio off to not interfere with it, which is compliant with the ACMA regulations. Nothing wrong with that. One of the big problems I was seeing was people's connections weren't coming back when these radios were jumping because they got scan lists set for the frequencies of sectors. Now, something that I do, and something that I'm pretty sure most of the network team members do, is we set optimal frequencies for a sector in a scan list on the AP end. Now, if we do that and it gets DFS hit, it might jump to one of those channels. If it doesn't, it'll turn the radio off, which is great, but it's not great, but yeah. The best thing about it is if it jumps to another channel, it still operates. But if you've got a scan list set, unless you've got those frequencies all entered to your scan list, your radio's not going to reconnect. I had a big problem where PH3 had this set, which links quite a few nodes downstream through the UniSA sector. PH5 also had it set. And there was a backbone link, which theoretically should have it set, but that should be set different. But that's all fixed now. So basically what I'm trying to get along to the point is, if you connect to a sector, especially one on a core node, and you're going to have a scan list set, at least set it to the scan list the same as the AP. If you don't know what that is, ask a network team member, or we might not even have one, or just don't have one set. I mean, sure, if you don't have one set, it'll take a little bit longer for your radio to reconnect, because it's got to cycle through the frequencies to find the right run, to find the thing to connect to. 30 seconds out of your life ain't going to make much difference if your link drops anyway, because BGP's got a whole time 180 seconds by default, so yeah. So it's been happening on quite a lot. I had 18 radios hit with it over the weekend, all that jump frequencies or disabled their radios. This was a serious problem on Sunday night and last Friday night. So I don't know if the army training, if they're playing with some toys or something that's happening, so I don't know. But
Trinky also got hit.
It's happening actually.
yeah, so Trinky got hit and it jumped channel because it doesn't have a scan list set, so this jumped to a random channel.
Actually, what I saw from my side, from my radio, because I got it set up for monitoring, and I saw a sawtooth. It was going like this through the frequency band.
So yeah, because it kept getting hits. Eventually it gets through its list and then goes, oh, I'm going to turn the radio off, and then get DFS wait for 1,800 seconds. And you're like, well, that's, I don't know how many minutes that is. Is it an hour?
Half an hour.
Half an hour,
No,
yeah.
it was longer than that, because I reported at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and it got to hit. My radio lost connection like 4:30 in the morning.
So the AC stuff, and what I've been seeing a lot about the AC stuff, is that once it gets a hit, it'll always think it's hit, and it'll just keep resetting that timer.
Yeah.
Now, some of them may not be hits, they may just be noise. So obviously with the growing noise floor, there's more noise out there, which means more APs that sees that it's on its own frequency at a better frequency, which could lead to a false positive. So that's another issue that we've got to deal with all these WISPs and everyone around. So just as a prevention for that, we will be, any ever like really problematic sectors will probably be going for a rechannel. Obviously if it's getting false hits, it needs to be moved because it's obviously not ideal. So we'll be doing that, and we'll advise if we're going to be doing any of that stuff beforehand via the ticketing system. Otherwise, yeah, that's about all I have. There have been a few things jumping up and down and offline. I mean, Ottaway got hit.
power at Highgate?
Yeah, that too. I'll talk about that in a sec. There's a whole bunch of stuff getting hit. So that's that. If you're noticing things drop, feel free to let us know. But if it's DFS, by the time we find out, it's all over and done with. Cool. So we've also been having troubles at Highgate Park in relation to power outages. Now there's been 2 significant power outages there, 2 at least 12-hour ones and 1 a couple-hour ones. So we don't actually know what the cause is. Well, the first time was they were having electrical work done on the building because they blew a phase or something, like an entire phase, which just happened to be the one that our gear and AITEL's gear was on it. The best thing about Highgate is the fact that AITEL does use the same circuit as us, so Hoy's pretty on and pretty quick. So that there. Otherwise, unless someone can offer me a UPS that'll last me 18 hours that I can fit into a rack this big, unfortunately we're going to have to go with that. There is a backup path that's currently offline, which hopefully will get fixed soon. I believe Chris ordered parts to fix that as well, so that's good. If anyone's got an option for an alternate path down south, let me know, because we need one. Yeah. I believe there's supposed to be one through North Adelaide as well. It's down because North Adelaide's offline. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So hopefully good to see some of those backup paths come back. But currently, yeah, the only link down south is Highgate, which is quite a significant number of nodes. I mean, when it goes offline, I think I get close to like 27 device offline alerts. So yeah. Just a security warning, make sure you keep your AOS device up to date. They had that big virus issue, which should only really affect people that are got their devices pointing at the internet, but just to be safe, that's all keep up to date. With the obvious performance increases as well. That's all I have, unless anyone's got any questions for me. It's not too much happening, so hopefully more news next month.
Awesome, thank you. Alright guys, did you have something else you were doing that you wanted to talk about there? Just
no,
breaking
they did finally finish.
And that big fire?
Oh.
Do we know?
Yes.
Just out of curiosity's sake.
There's the background. Well, yeah, which one was it?
The big one.
Yeah, so let's go find the big one.
Okay. There's a Zepto file now. Whatever that is.
So yeah, the file's still there.
Does it open it up correctly?
What was it again? A 2 gig PDF.
That PDF,
Was it really a 2 gig PDF?
that's a 2 meg something.
Oh, that one.
No, it's the WIM file we did.
Oh, okay.
This one here.
Pick one of the PDFs from the documents folder.
So if you want more information about this kind of stuff as well, we can forward that through to John after the meeting, or if you've seen this video later in the fact and you want more info about these things.
Or if you want the script to change the associations.
Yep, any of that stuff.
All like
Just
that.
contact us and we'll do it for you. Interesting. It doesn't look like a PDF now.
No. But it really is doing something to the file. It's not just changing the name. It's
Taking a big dump on it.
How many jobs are you getting now? Like, relative to this?
Too many.
Certainly this month there's been quite a spike in them, and compared to previous months it's probably 4 or 5 times as many. And a lot of them are minor to fix because there's other external backup options you can go to. It's the home user. The Dropbox account is a real concern, or basically any shared cloud storage is a real problem. Because suddenly you've nailed your machine and every other device that's
profiles are usually disposable in those environments anyway.
They should be.
Yeah.
If staff are saving stuff to the desktops, they're not supposed to be there.
Yeah, but if you were to crypto lock your whole thing and then reboot, it's probably gone anyway, but your files are still toast. Yeah.
On anything that's rewritable,
Yeah.
share, local, etc.
Brilliant.
So,
All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for watching or attending if you're here, and we'll see you next month.